Unfortunately, the other day when Dan and I went in to bait on August 16th, we had a ton of footage that we taped for you and ultimately for our week 3 update. And unfortunately, I left it in .5 slow motion from a previous trip of scouting for some deer. And what I figured is I'd come in here and kind of explain what had happened on August 16th, because we had a bunch of new things kind of come up, and it was really interesting. So I kind of wanted to go over that with you guys and not waste this footage. And Dan and I will actually film again tomorrow. We're going to be baiting again tomorrow for the 20th. And the season's slowly approaching, guys, so we're pretty excited. And but anyways, let's get into it. So on August 16th, we pulled up to the property. We walked in, and we made our way to the Bishop bait, which is our first bait that we typically bait every time we go in, and for every day to bait, or every 2 days now that we've kind of switched our pattern. We went in, we realized the bait was hit really, really good, cleaned completely out. All the remnants on the ground was pretty much, just picked up here and there. And so we pulled that SD card, and we reset the bait, re-greased, re-sprayed, obviously put the bait in the barrel, replaced the logs, put a new SD card in. And when we made our way back out, we stopped and we quickly just popped that SD card in Dan's computer. And we quickly learned that we had a huge sow move in. And we were really, really excited. But as we started looking more at the pictures, we started to realize that this huge sow had 2 tiny little cubs. And we almost think that they were probably born this year. They're really, really tiny. So unfortunately, she's kind of off limits with those cubs. So, and the reason that is because if you shoot a big sow like that with tiny cubs, those cubs won't survive. They'll end up dying or getting killed by predators or whatever. So it's important that you let that group or that family group of bears kind of do their thing, and eventually she'll kick them off after that full, maybe year or 2 year mark. So that was really exciting. So we have another group of bears in there, so that brings our total to 5. We end up going to our second bait that we call Old Reliable. That bait also was getting hit really, really good. The only interesting thing left that I have to say is between those 2 baits, we've really started to realize that the Bishop bait has been getting hit primarily in the morning and evening, but in daylight, like all day, throughout the day in daylight. And then Old Reliable has started to kind of switch toward being like a secondary bait almost. And they're hitting it, late evening, throughout the night. And so it's kind of interesting how it's kind of switched. Our best bait kind of is now our secondary bait, and the new bait I put in has all the daylight action. So it's interesting that, I wonder if it's because the other bait's closer to the road, or we've killed 2 bears out of there and we shot another one. So is it the pressure starting to get in there? We may never know, but we're hopeful that we can pick up some more bears. Obviously, we're going to be going to the baits tomorrow to freshen them up. We had a huge rainstorm, big front come through yesterday. Dumped almost 2 inches of rain. Maybe not that much, but a good amount of rain. We definitely needed it. It's been really, really dry. But all in all, it's looking up. If it all comes down to opening day being that we just have these 5, just getting film of that huge sow and her cubs would be an awesome, first sit. And if it comes down to just that one lone boar that we've got in there, he's not a big bear, but he's probably a 2-year-old. He's kind of, what we're looking at right now. And I think Dan and I were talking, if it does, like I said, come down to that kind of that situation, we would both give a shot at them. And so like Dan would get first sit, I'd film him, and then I'd go in, and then we'd kind of maybe split up and hunt on our own or whatnot. So yeah, that's kind of what had happened on August 16th. We learned a lot. We've started to realize there's some changes going on to the baits with daylight activity and nighttime activity. Obviously, the new family group of bears moving in. And Dan and I had talked, and we were really excited because, the more bears that you have on your sites, the more that they're going to travel off, go bed, and it's just going to cause that much more scent to cast out in your area, and hopefully you can pull in some more bears. So like I said, guys, in the last 2 updates, we're very hopeful. We're keeping our fingers crossed, and hopefully we can pull in a couple more. We've been hearing it's been pretty difficult for a lot of other people around the area, but just keep at it, guys. Just keep at it, keep rescenting, adding your grease, just keep scenting, keep doing what you guys have been doing, keep your routines consistent, and hopefully you guys can pull in some bears before the end of before we come up here for opening day. So appreciate you guys, and we will see you bright and early tomorrow morning to go bait and hit our routine. So we'll see you then.
I just want to pick up that tree and move it.
I know if like hunting was an actual video game.
Okay.
You want me to drag him in?
Huh?
You want me to pull him in?
Doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, let me take him in.
You want to take him?
Yeah. Let you roll the camera.
All right.
Oh, Patridge. Dude, I love bird hunting, man. Dude, it's so fun with a dog, too. It's a shame my dad gave our freaking setter away.
I'm hoping to take my father-in-law's dog out soon.
Is that what he's got?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been training it.
That's awesome, dude. Is it a German Shorthair?
It's a poodle pointer.
Poodle. Huh.
His name's Ike. We were actually over on the boat launch the other day putting the boat in, and he got loose.
Yeah.
And there was ducks just along the shore, and he swam right after him. Almost, and he was gaining on him too, and then finally they kind of took off. But
it's funny because like when we would let him out, Fisher out, he would get birdie. He would run and something.
wiped out, huh?
If this was cleaned, and you got that almost to the top, didn't you?
Yeah, it was quite a bit. It was a 6 gallon.
Almost a full 6-gallon bucket.
Yeah.
In 2 days, I mean that's a lot of bait. As if that. With the sow and those cubs and those 2 other bear.
Hungry.
Hungry is right.
And we had just left the barrel like that at that time, so
And everything
everything on the ground's gone.
was gone. Everything is gone. That's good. That's really good. And we just updated the SD card, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we have something new. But if not, maybe just, a better idea of timing and which bait is going to be key for us to start.
Yeah.
I also, I forgot to ask you for if you had a pole saw.
I don't have a pole saw.
You don't?
All I have is a handsaw.
Handsaw will be just fine. Next time we come in, we'll have to. We were talking about cutting some limbs in that stand just so that we can get a saddle set up in there, just so we can film, especially for opening day for Dan, because he's going to be behind the gun on the opening night. So, or bow, whatever we decide. So we might be taking that limb right there, right next to you.
Yep.
And then we'll just brush everything in the back so he's got a good back wall. But I think that'll be just fine. Oh yeah. Same stuff.
A little less than I thought I put in this time. I thought I had it a little bit fuller, but I guess it's settled probably.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be good. Dude, even the stinky old popcorn and all that stuff, they're just gone with it. Oh yeah, that friggin' pumpkin flake, that's the stuff. You see. Trying to make sure these boots don't get too greasy.
Right.
Probably actually getting a little greasy. I'll probably be hunting in these, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be... Jeez. Your bed speaker there? Keep it the same. Keep it rocking. Almost too tight. Oh.
I honestly don't even smell the blueberry. And I don't know if that's just because we sprayed cherry after, but the cherry is like usually all I smell.
Like I could smell the blueberry when I'm spraying it, but once you spray that cherry, that takes over.
Yeah.
That's
I
pretty
feel
much.
like the cherry's a good one.
It is a good
That and then when we do the anise on the other one, or anise.
Oh.
On the other
Come
side,
right
I
here.
smell that quite a bit.
Dude, it's like you're downwind of it.
Yeah, that's wild. So we left at 9:54. They're there at 2:41, and I think it's the sow.
Yeah.
During the day, she looks massive.
She looks pretty good right there.
Yeah, she does. There's some better pictures of her. Ooh.
Today's the 23rd, right? No,
Nope.
yesterday was.
No, yeah, yesterday was.
Today's the 24th.
Yep.
National Kobe Day.
Mm-hmm. Is that a squirrel? What is that?
Birdie.
There she is.
908. Look how small they are.
I know, they're tiny. You know, hopefully that's what they continue to do, is just hit it in the morning, and in the evening the boar and the sow will come in for us. Or not. 6:35 p.m. right back in there. Man, she's a nice bear.
What's this morning?
8:30. Right on the way here. Exiting, dude, they went out our trail, I bet. If
That's pretty close to where we were just talking about.
I think she'll take the right and she'll take the trails.
Oh.
9:50. She was in there when we were walking in. Wow.
We were there at 9:19.
Hold on. Let me get in this.
9:15 a.m. 9:19 a.m. 4 minutes after. Crazy because we obviously didn't hear them or anything, but they obviously heard us walking in.
Yes, they did. They probably heard our sled way in the distance.
But I mean, 4 minutes isn't a ton of time.
No, it's not. That's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah, so they're close.
They
Like
are.
right
They're
now.
betting very close.
So they're probably like, they could be on the bait right now.
They very well could be.
That's crazy. I didn't even look.
What's in here? They twisted it.
Beat that bucket. This stupid thing.
Beat your bucket. All right, we're all done. That's essentially the routine that we've been doing for the last month. All right, guys, so we just got done baiting. Just left the property. And what can I say? So our last bait that we just got done, which is the old reliable bait that we're dubbing. Unfortunately, that ST card had a malfunction, so we weren't able to get pictures. But the bait was hit hard. Like, it was cleaned out when you looked at it, right?
Yeah, totally.
Totally cleaned out.
Like clean.
Yep. So we're hopeful that either we got some new bears in there. I actually went back in there and put a SD card that I know works. I'm trying to make this difficult for Dan. So we will for sure know what is on that bait in 2 days. We're hoping that there's some new bears on there. We're hoping that there's a lone boar that we're kind of really interested in getting a better look at, and I think Dan will ultimately take him. I'm going to let him go in and have first crack at him for opening day, and like I said, hopefully we have some new bears in there that we just don't know about, and hopefully that'll kind of, give us some more, opportunity, or maybe we can, maybe take a bigger bear if one has shown up. But the bishop bait, the first bait that we did this morning, had the same big sow and 2 cubs, and they've been way more consistent, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and the timestamp this morning.
Yep.
We came in at 9:19 and we had them on camera at 9:15.
Yep. So they probably heard us walking in there with that sled banging around, and they probably just skirted, or they may have just left the bait as we were walking in. Hard to tell, but we were actually talking that maybe Dan ought to bring his handgun just in case. With a big sow like that and tiny cubs, they're pretty unpredictable. You don't know what would happen if you walk on there and they're there. So she could charge you. She could bluff charge, or they'll run away. It's hard to say. But we do have a smaller bear on the bishop bait, as well as the smaller sow that was rolling around with the smaller boar. So we're really just hoping that the old reliable bait has that small boar, and he's just hitting that spot.
Yeah, the small sow was on the other bait quite a bit.
Right, and maybe that bigger sow is a little bit more comfortable with her around there. It's not, you know what I mean? So hopefully that smaller boar is just pretty much just taking over that other bait, and it actually would work out better because that's actually already set for a double for me to film Dan, and it's a way closer shot. It's perfect for bow. It's actually, when I went in there and put that bait 3 years ago, it was planned that would primarily be a bow spot. But I guess the only other thing that I'll mention is the bishop bait. We do have to trim that just in case if we get that boar going over there at some point. I'm thinking that maybe we will be over at Old Reliable. I'm thinking that that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Is that we're going to be probably sliding in there, and he's just been taking over that bait. Is our hope. But man, guys, it's August 24th, so we've got roughly 5 days. 5 days to opening day. Dan's going to start school that day, so he'll be getting out at what, 2 o'clock?
Probably 2:45.
Oh, 2:45.
Yeah.
Okay. So we might be getting a little bit of a late start. Hopefully be set up by 3:30, or whatever time we get in there. I mean, these bears have been in there all through the evening, so it's, if I don't know. I mean, we'll probably not bait the day before, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much what we did last year. We didn't bait the day before. We kind of just let them, not have it, and then the day we actually went into hunt, we'll bait, obviously, and then the idea is that they've had it without it and they're hungry, so they're going to come in and hopefully hit it, at the optimal hunting hours for us is the idea. So, but yeah. So that's pretty much going to be the final update, guys. Really hope you guys enjoyed just seeing our routine and us just working together and throwing different ideas out. Like we had talked about at the beginning, this isn't necessarily the best way to go about baiting black bear. We knew that. But being that this is a place that has a decent number of bear, we figured, what would happen if we had 2 baits that were roughly 500 yards apart, and if we had a good population of them. So it didn't really turn out like we had hoped. We've only had 5, I believe, altogether, with the sow and the 2 cubs, and then the 2 other bear, and actually it's 6 now with that smaller one,
yeah,
right? That we had shown up at the bishop bait. But yeah. So overall, it's been a fun, August and just doing the grind. And I guess the next time that you see us, we'll be up in the tree. I'm pretty sure that on opening night, I'll probably be using Dan's camera to film him, and they'll probably put it on their channel. So depending on how everything turns out, I'm not sure if we're going to get a lot of hunts, because I mean we'll carry on probably till third week to bait, and then I'll probably switch over and really start focusing on deer. But you know, if we don't get anything in the next couple weeks, you know, anything new, hopefully that Dan and I can drop that bear on opening night. But that's kind of the plan. So really hope you guys enjoyed just the updates and everything. And if you have any questions, you know, feel free to comment or even message Dan over at the Maine Hunt. And I'll put a couple tags here just so you guys can see the social media and whatnot. But that's the plan, guys. So we'll touch base with you on opening day. So we'll see you then.